guys, we are back. As promised, we have with us Jesse Goldberg-Strassler. He is the broadcasting announcer for the Lansing Lugnuts, the low A affiliate for the Toronto Blue Jays. I want to welcome you to the show, Jesse. How long have you been broadcasting for Lansing?
I joined the Lansing Lugnuts in 2009, so our opening day starter was the teenager Henderson Alvarez that year.
Oh, yes. Now he's well under his way past where is he now? He's in Florida, I believe, is he not?
I think he's working his way back in AAA. Isn't he now in the Oakland Athletic system with Nashville?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, you've been doing the Lansing Lugnuts for how long again?
So since 2009.
Okay.
And I've been in broadcasting minor league baseball since 2005.
Wow. And before that, before Lansing, where were you at?
So I came out of the state of Maryland. 2005, I was in Brockton, Massachusetts in independent baseball. 2006, 2007 in the AA Southern League with the Tampa Bay Rays affiliate in Montgomery, although then they were the Devil Rays. So I got to see Evan Longoria and Wade Davis coming up. And then 2008 with the independent Windy City Thunderbolts just a little bit south of Chicago. And then I joined the Lugnuts in 2009.
Yeah, actually, I did print off your resume here, so just give me a second here. It says you did quite a few things. You're with the Lansing Lugnuts since 2009. You're with the curator for the Michigan Baseball Hall of Fame. Lead broadcaster for the Central Michigan University women's basketball team. Also co-host of the Pep Rally Sports Talk Radio or Sports Talk Show. And quite a number of list of other things here. Where do you find the time to do all these things?
I mean, things need to get done, so they get done.
Right. Now, it says also you're a member of the STAA, which is the Sportscaster Talent Agency of America. And how long ago was you were inducted there?
Oh, I joined them. I don't even remember how long ago I joined them. Maybe I joined them 2011, 2012, around about there.
Okay. And where did you go to school for broadcasting?
I went to Ithaca College, a Division III university in central New York. Ithaca is on the South Hill, and then Cornell University is on the East Hill. Very comparable institutions, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit to the south of Syracuse. It's in the foothills of New York alongside Lake Cayuga and the Finger Lakes. Just a gorgeous area.
Yeah. Now, another aspect of your career, you also are an author. You've published two very, very popular and widely accepted thesauruses. Can you explain about the baseball thesaurus and the football thesaurus?
You're very kind. Thank you. The baseball thesaurus came about when I was a young broadcaster in '05, and I realized that I was using all the same words to describe everything. So every single baseball was hammered. Every single runner rounding the bases was dashing. And I decided I needed more words to describe it. And from there, I conducted a study into the very language of the game, talking about the hot corner and can of corn and onward, because I'm around baseball players on a daily basis. So I might as well write down the way that they talk about baseball, the way that the coaches do. And so the baseball thesaurus came out, and it sold out. So it's now in its second edition, which I think that print run is disappearing quickly. And that was followed on the heels by the football thesaurus. So cataloging the language of how American football is discussed.
Wow. Now, did you play baseball as a kid?
I played it up until I was about 12 or 13 years old. I was an all-star second baseman.
Okay, what about football? You played football also, I assume?
No. I did not. I played a lot of soccer. I probably played 7 years of soccer. I played a lot of tennis, and I still enjoy playing tennis in my spare time and going ice skating. But on actual teams, organized teams, played baseball up through Little League, and then I stopped because everybody was better. And I played soccer up until high school, and then I stopped because everybody was better. I'm short, I'm weak, I'm slow, and I'm uncoordinated. That is a bad combination. Or a great combination for broadcast.
Very true. Very, very true. Now, Jesse, the reason I wanted to contact you is because, I'll be very honest, you're somebody that has your finger on the pulse of the team in Lansing, has a good idea. Not only that, but I was recommended by Brian Crawford. You know him. He said he'd be a great person to talk to in regard to the team. And I want to get an idea of what kind of prospects, as a Blue Jay fan, that we're looking, getting in the future here. So I'm just going to hit on a few of these players here, and just tell me what your thoughts are on, what you think of some of these guys. First one being Max Pentecost. He is the number 9 prospect in the Blue Jay farm system. He is a catching prospect, but due to the issues with his arm in the past, do you see him staying as a catcher?
I think right now it's too early to tell. So Max, the big thing for him is that he is back and he's playing in real games again after missing all of last year. Getting his time back up there at home plate. What you're seeing from him right now, and I think we were really tantalized by the fact that the very first pitch he saw with Lansing, he rifled an RBI single into right center. And then his second time up, he took a ball, and then he crushed a home run out to right center. And now we're going, all right, here we go. There's the best prospect in the minors for any team in the country.
Yeah,
Max needs time to recover. He is not at 100%.
Yeah.
He cannot wait to start catching again. He's catching side sessions for the Lansing Lugnuts pitchers. So I think it's too soon to forecast too much, but I'm glad to see him back on the field.
Yeah. The Toronto selected him in the first round there back in, I think it was
2014.
2014, yeah. So they did have high hopes for him. So do you see him making the jump rather sooner than later to the next level, or do you see him sticking around for a while?
The big thing is that they're continuing to put him through the program, building up that strength, getting him where they want him to be. And that, I think, is the really good thing about the farm system, that he can come back and get in this time in single A in the Midwest League. And when he's ready to move up, he'll show it.
Yeah.
Because guys who are ready to move up, they dominate this league. We saw Don Harris before his last start. He's dominated. Francisco Rios earned his call up to Dunedin.
Yeah.
So when Pentecost says, you know what, I'm ready, they will move him. But I don't think that there's a lot of urgency to get him to the major leagues, let's say next year.
Yeah.
I think they say, if he continues to progress like this, a couple of years down the line, and learning how to catch from guys like Sal Fasano and Ken Huckabee and more, I think that they see a very bright future ahead for him.
Right. Now, seeing the possibility of R.A. Dickey possibly departing, that means Josh Tolley will be leaving. That's going to leave a wide open hole. Now, I'm assuming A.J. Jimenez is the next in line there, but Max Pentecost obviously is going to be the guy they call to go to the next level, I'm assuming. So you see him moving up rather quickly then and not sticking around very often, I assume.
I think he'll dictate his own schedule.
Yeah, 10-4.
I think it's so difficult to tell sometimes with these ball players what levels are going to test them and what levels won't.
Sure.
And I think as Toronto Blue Jays fans well know, that a player can start dominating in A advanced or even Double A and move up to Triple A. It is very rare that you find a Roberto Osuna who can skip Double A and Triple A entirely. By and large, it is better to let that guy crush than Triple A. But if Max Pentecost, let's say he shoots on up, and this year he goes Lansing to Dunedin, next year he goes Dunedin to New Hampshire, well, even if he looks really comfortable, he still has things to learn.
Yeah.
Sal Fasano believes that every catcher comes into his own at the age of 27. So Pentecost as a catcher is young.
Yeah.
I love him. I love his future, but I really do think that take your time with him, because if you take your time, he could be really good down the road.
Yeah, as a 23-year-old, he has a long way to go, you're right. And it'd be nice to see him actually get to the next level and just to see what he's worth, Now, another guy I was kind of interested in is another 23-year-old, Andrew, I think it's Giat or Gialotti?
It is pronounced like Thea, so it's Gia.
Okay, yeah. He's lighting it up. I mean, he's having a great year so far this year. He's doing well. What do you make of him?
Andrew Giat, when you first see him, so he stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He's blonde. He plays like a ball of fury. You bat him right up at the top of the order. Doesn't strike out all that much. Had a couple of home runs right away. I love that he can play all 3 outfield positions.
Yeah.
We played him at second base, and he excelled at second base. He has terrific range, and he has a stronger arm than you think. I love his throwing arm. And at the plate, he figures pitchers out. Yesterday, there was a guy from Baseball Perspective, someone who I respect, who was watching the game. And he noticed that Andrew Giat is having a hard time figuring out the starting pitcher for South Bend's slurve. That slurve was just giving him fit. And he sent this out. He messaged me during an at-bat after Giat swung and missed for strike 1. He said, "It's the slurve, Giat can't get it." Well, Andrew Giat walked that at-bat. He wrote me a message as soon as the at-bat was over, and he said, "Figured it out."
Yeah, he's a fast learner.
I don't know how high Andrew Giat is going to go, but he's going to get every ounce of ability that he has out of his talent.
Right.
I love him on this team. I would love him on any baseball team as a guy who helps you win.
Yeah, definitely. He's another great prospect here. Also, I wanted to touch on Sean Reed Foley, number 6 prospect in the Jays farm system. This guy's only 20 years old. This guy's just a kid. What do you make of him?
He has an exceptional arm. So last year, I remember with Reed Foley that they were really working on his mechanics. And he was just out there on the mound trying to throw. And every single time that he would throw the baseball, especially early in the year, it would come out a different way. Well, in the offseason, he really worked. His changeup improved. Now those mechanics are improved. And they're still trying to get some more heft. Left shoulder up and then bring it on down to get that good fling. Sean Reed Foley's curveball is coming around. He's got a short slider that is sharp. And his fastball velocity, when he's feeling good, he'll work 92, 93, 94, and he'll touch 96, 97.
Wow,
and I think there's still more velocity to come.
Wow.
Last year, he was 6'3 and 230. I think he slimmed down some of the baby fat, and now he's down to 6'3", 220. And now he's going to start to add more muscle.
Yeah.
Reed Foley sees himself as the kind of big, burly, intimidating guy I'd compare to a Kurt Schilling as a starter. And as a reliever, I'd look at a Jonathan Papelbon or a Wade Davis, where he gets out there on the mound with a scowl, with tattoos, with who knows what kind of facial hair he'll come up with, and he's up there to challenge the batter. And he is still so young.
Yeah.
His talent, his ceiling is high.
Yeah. Yeah, the Jays were really high on him. They got him in the 2nd round in 2014, so that would be almost considered to be a steal, would it not?
The feeling with those young ball players is, how strong is their commitment to college? Do you think Sean Reed Foley is going to go to Florida State or not? How much money is it going to take to sign him? So that's why when the draft occurs, I ignore it until the signings come in.
Right.
Because I do not want to get too high on a guy, and then the Blue Jays can't ink him to a deal.
Right.
But after he signs, then you can start to dream on him.
Yeah. So how long do you think he makes the jump, do you think? You think he's about 4 or 5 years away yet?
To make it to the major leagues, well, let's look at this schedule for him. Midsummer this year, he's going up to Dunedin, if not sooner. He'll finish this year in Dunedin. Next year, judging upon how he comes out of spring training, maybe he starts the year in Dunedin and he finishes the year in Double-A, which puts him the next year right in Buffalo-Toronto territory.
Yeah, perfect. Angel Perdomo. I like this kid. I know he's kind of further down on the ranks here. They say he's the number 12 prospect. I think this guy's just fantastic from what I've seen of him. Very electric pitcher. What do you make of him?
Angel Perdomo. Angel Perdomo is now 6'7", 240 pounds.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the conversation with Brian Calloway, with Brian Crawford, where he was asked about his height and his weight, and Brian was right on the money. He said he's taller than 6'6". He's up to 6'7" now, and I think he weighs more than 200. And Brian was right on the money. I went to talk with our strength and conditioning man, and he said that Angel is now working at 240 pounds. He is strong, he is big, and he has all arms and legs, and batters have a hard time seeing it. When you couple that with the depth that he is getting on his slider, with the fact that he is eating up both left-handed and right-handed batters, you are on the cusp of something that I think that not too many folks knew coming into this year. Maybe they had heard the name. Maybe they were thinking, oh, he's big, so maybe he throws really hard, and we'll see if there's anything else.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to him, and the league is batting well beneath 200 against him for good reason.
And
South Bend Cubs have the best offense in our league, and they couldn't touch him the first time.
I was actually looking at those stats, and I didn't have any idea that his weight had jumped so high. Brian and I did have a discussion in regard to that. Now, is that a healthy 240? He seems like that seems incredible. They have his weight listed here as 6'6", 200 pounds.
What I would take from that is that was probably his signing height and weight.
Jesus.
And now it's been a while since he's signed. It's been several years in the minor league organization, and they don't update the height and weight the entire way through.
Yeah.
Usually the height remains the same. But I remember Juan Kelly joined us at 5'11", 150, and I showed it to him, and Juan goes, not 150. I think right now he's about 210, 215.
Jesus. Yeah, like I said, that's a kid that I'm very excited about. Now, probably the most excited about is, you touched on it earlier, is John Harris. I think this guy is fantastic. What do you see in his future, and how long do you think he makes the jumps?
I think that's a really great conversation to go back a bit about who's the better prospect between Reed Foley and Harris. Because one, you've got your fireballing high schooler, and then you've got your polished college guy with 4 pitches with a heck of a curve.
Yeah.
And take your pick. So John Harris right now, and he suffered through a rough outing yesterday, and I think the big key to that was he simply didn't have his fastball command. I would rather judge the 6 starts before it rather than 1 start yesterday.
Definitely, yeah.
Fastball is right now 92, 93, touching 94, 95. Curveball is awesome. He's got some sharp movement on it. It's a legitimate out pitch. He throws it, batters are frozen, they're done. Like what I'm seeing from his slider so far, and I like what I've seen from his changeup at various starts this year. He's got 4 pitches. He's working to sharpen them up. And when batters reach base against him, yesterday excluded, it's over. With runners on, I think it was something like 3 for 52 entering play yesterday.
Jesus, wow, impressive, very impressive numbers. What's the holdup? I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but you know, Rios gets promoted very quickly. How come Harris didn't get the jump also?
Because Rios was ready before John.
Okay.
Francisco Rios. Well, let's go back to John. His great grandmother passed away, and so for a couple of weeks he was on the temporarily inactive list.
Okay, no.
And during those couple of weeks, Francisco Rios destroyed it. Once again, we're talking about a 4-pitch pitcher with polish, with a heck of a curveball. I love his breaking stuff, and his fastball is right there, exactly where John's is, 92, 93, touching 95. Dunedin needs a starter, and we know that John Harris has it down the road.
Yeah.
This is before his consecutive 7-inning, 11-strikeout performances.
Yeah.
Rios was pitching better, San Francisco on up, and you know that John Harris is going to get the call eventually, just like Sean Reed-Foley. No rush. Dunedin can thank us later because Francisco Rios has earned that trip. Last time out, 9-inning complete game? I think he's doing just fine.
So here's another guy here that I find very, very intriguing. Starlin Surreal. This kid is on fire. Can you explain about what's his deal?
So Starlin Surreal was signed as a minor league free agent, international free agent, I should say.
International signing, yeah.
Of the Dominican Republic. And he was signed at a later age than everybody else, signed later than you would expect. So he comes out, and in his professional debut, they assign him all the way to Vancouver. He moves to Vancouver, and, I mean, we're not talking Gulf Coast League, Dominican Summer League, Bluefield. From Vancouver, on us with Miguel Castro, and with Alberto Tirado, and with Jairo Laborde, it is Surreal who got the call up immediately to Lansing first. So he joins us in 2014, pitches fine. 2015, we start him as the number 2 starter in the rotation, but he got worn down to the end of last year and his velocity dropped. They're trying to get that velocity back up. This is a prospect-laden pitching staff this year, so Surreal is in the bullpen as a multi-inning guy. And every time he goes out there to the mound, he is eating batters a lot. Change looks great. Great taking touch. He gets swings and misses. He gets swings and misses by a couple of feet. Every now and then he gets bitten by the home run ball, but aside from that, it's just zeros. They go 0 for against him. So I love when he comes in because I understand it's going to go quick. Starlin Surreal is going to put up another goose egg.
Now, we talked about Rios earlier, and you had a good look at him before he got promoted. What did you think of him?
I think Francisco Rios is a lot more polished than people know.
Okay.
And now they're starting to hear of him because I don't believe I saw him on any of those prospect lists entering play this year.
No, yeah, not at all.
Fastball's in the mid-90s. 92, 93, touching 95. Probably he can add ticks to that velocity. Curveball is awesome. Slider is really looking good, too. I love that slider breaking low and away, getting right-handers to chase. Changeup is the pitch that was coming along, but it's not holding him back. He's pitching deep into games. I mean, on a nightly basis with Dunedin, he's gone 7 innings or 9 innings. And he's smart, and he's a great character guy. He's just another Blue Jays pitching prospect.
Yeah.
I think this organization does a heck of a job at developing young pitchers.
Yeah, it's interesting how all we hear about is how bare the cupboards are in the minor leagues, but yet we have such a strong contingent of kids in Lansing right now.
Well, the people who say that the cupboard is bare, I worry that is too much talk during the off season. And I think it's much more fun to talk while the games are actually going on. It's the same reason you'll hear about a player getting overrated or underrated. When there's nothing happening, then you can read about what his stuff is. Yeah. It's much more fun to be seeing what is happening while the games are occurring.
Right.
Or in June, July, how is he pitching? How is he adjusting to the league around him?
Yeah.
But last year, there were a lot of guys traded away. Hoffman got traded away, and Miguel Castro, and Daniel Norris, and Matt Boyd, Jairo Laborde. Alberto Torrado, Nick Wells,
Yeah.
Jimmy Cordero.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guys to take out of a minor league organization.
Yeah.
But they're replenishing. Ryan Barucki bombed out in high A Dunedin. Come back to Lansing. He's looked tremendous.
Yeah.
It's a 6'4" left-hander who can throw in the mid-90s with awesome changeup and awesome slider.
Yeah.
So if Barucki gets right where he wants to be, where I think he's on pace to do so, there's another great pitching.
Another one. Now here's another guy. This guy might be a little bit old for the league. He's a 24-year-old. You probably know who I'm talking about. Dusty Isaacs. This kid's another one. He's an incredible control guy. 28 strikeouts, 3 walks, over 22 innings, an 0.77 whip. I mean, 1.23 ERA. These incredible numbers. And again, another great pitching prospect. These guys here, I think we should be kind of not rushing them through, but kind of just seeing what their mettle is and seeing, how well they would go if they, go up another level and see how well they can do that way. Do you see that as somebody that can benefit down the road for the Blue Jays?
Well, I want you to understand, too, that ERA that you just mentioned, that is up. It was at 0.0 until his last appearance.
Wow.
He had gone 16 appearances out of the pen, and he allowed 1 unearned run. Then he got hit around a little bit by the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, gave up a home run, a single, and another home run. And those are the 3 earned runs that he's allowed this year.
Wow.
And he recovered to strike 2 guys out because Dusty strikes guys out. He's a fastball slider guy who's captain of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets baseball team. He's got a great head on his shoulders. And it's really good to have a veteran presence at the back of the bullpen just to steady the younger guys down.
Yeah.
I love having Dusty on this team.
Yeah.
If he gets called up to Dunedin tomorrow, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that I think that's completely under the radar. Speaking of under the radar, what are some other prospects that you can think of off the top of your head right now that are kind of flying under the radar right now?
Patrick Murphy. Murphy is a 20-year-old right-hander who was a third-round draft pick in 2013. He's got a fastball in the mid-90s, can touch 95 to 96, has a 12-6 curveball, hooks its way right on down, a curve that you want to see.
Yeah.
It's just getting back from being healthy. It's so good to have him healthy. Maybe he'll get moved down to Vancouver. Maybe he'll stick with us. But his arm is something special.
Now, you're not concerned about the control issues with Murphy?
Nope, because he's barely pitched. It's the same thing with Max Pentecost. When you're coming back from injury, I'm not going to judge a guy after a couple of weeks or even a month. Colton Turner last year was coming back from Tommy John.
Yeah.
And he told me it took all the way until July or August for him to finally feel good again. And Turner this year has not allowed a run. Not with Lansing, not with Dunedin. He's 25, and yet because he's a guy at those 93, 94, and he's a left-hander, he's going to rise if he keeps on pitching like this.
Definitely.
Murphy is just coming back, and I guarantee you he's still thinking about his body, thinking about how am I feeling? Am I feeling okay? When he stops thinking about his body, just starts throwing the baseball.
Yeah. What's your make on DeGraff?
Josh DeGraff is a sinker baller with a slider and a heck of a changeup out of Taylor University. Another guy with a good head on his shoulders. He's been awesome in our bullpen.
Yeah.
And every now and then he gets hit around because he leaves the baseball up. They're working with him to keep it down. But a sinker slider guy with a changeup, a lot of times you'll hear about a sinker slider guy pitches to contact. He's just trying to throw that sinker and get ground outs. Like that DeGraff gets strikeouts. He gets swings and misses because of his secondary stuff. And he's worth keeping an eye on down the road.
Perfect. Well, Jesse, I sincerely want to thank you for taking the time to do this. Just want to ask you a couple more questions about guys that you probably have no idea about, or sorry, I shouldn't say no idea, but you don't really see them. Vlad Guerrero Jr., number 5 prospect in the Jays farm system. And what do you make on him?
I have heard stories about Vladdy Jr. I have heard that if he was given to Lansing, maybe he'd scuffle a little bit. And yet he would immediately be one of the top prospects in the Midwest.
He's 16.
They love his bat. Probably he'll go to Bluefield. If he hits in Bluefield, he's going to Vancouver. They think he is really something special as a hitter. I've heard nothing but the legend of Vladdy Jr.
Yeah.
And I've heard that everybody calls him Junior. He wants to be called Junior. I've heard he's great.
Yeah, I'm excited for what he brings. As a 16-year-old, we have a long ways to wait. Now, another guy, one last one here. Sorry again to take up all your time, but Justin Mays. Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know. So when a guy hits the Lugnuts, I get to actually have him say his name to me, and then I'll go from there. So with Justin, I have heard once again that he too has a special right on, and I've heard that Justin and I've heard that Hansel Rodriguez are probably the next two pitchers to watch out for coming their way up. That those two, combined with Patrick Murphy as the third, and not too many people know about that big three. And Justin's name got out as a high draft pick last year, the big Texan fireballer. I've heard he's really good.
Yeah, 19-year-old throwing 97 mile an hour. Like, you know, in the Gulf Coast League, he was 5-0, 101 ERA, 20 Ks, 6 walks, 1.065 whip. I mean, put up phenomenal numbers in the rookie league. Just somebody that I think that would be, you know, a great fit for Lansing soon enough here. But
well, this is the fun of short season leagues opening up, is we'll start to see all those prospects and even guys who you don't know about yet, but the organization is high on. When they get those assignments to Bluefield and Vancouver, they will have their own stages to shine on. Yeah. And if they excel, they're moving.
So it's safe to say that the future is not as bleak as everyone's talking about in Toronto then.
No, I think people need to relax. And I mean that in both ways. For example, there are great prospects here. But at the same time, let's say Max Pentecost tomorrow goes 4 for 4 and hits 4 home runs. He's not ready to play catcher for the Blue Jays the very next day. Yeah. These guys need some time to work their way up through the minor leagues. Yeah. Who knows how long they'll get there, but I really trust the folks who are entrusted here, the coaches and the rovers, in cultivating their talents. The Blue Jays have some really great rovers and coaches.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Jesse, again, I want to thank you for your time. And, guys, I just want to let you know you can reach Jesse on Twitter at jgoldstrass. That's JGOLDSTRASS. That's on Twitter. And Jesse, can you tell us where you can pick up the Baseball Thesaurus and the Football Thesaurus books?
You know what? Do this. Google August Publications. Buy them right from the publisher's website. And there's Amazon.com and Amazon.ca, which should have it.
Perfect.
But just in case, I would go to August Publications, and you can buy them right from the publisher.
Perfect, Jesse. Well, thank you very much, and I hope to be able to check in with you later on down the road just to get a new update from you in the future, if that's good with you.
I think that sounds good. I think by July, we'll have a whole new Lugnuts team. Yeah. Maybe I'll be talking about guys like Carl Wise and Lane Thomas.
Oh, I'll be checking in with you for sure. Well, thanks so much, man. You have a great day.
Thank you very much, and you too.
10-4. Bye-bye.